Hello amazing people, welcome back to my channel guys. How you all doing today? Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're fine. Hope your day went well or is going well as planned. Thank you guys to all my subscribers. I appreciate you guys a whole lot. I can't thank you guys enough. I really appreciate you guys for always coming back to this channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this very beautiful and stylish jacket with a collar and visible hip cuff. Let's get started. So here is the print that I'm using here, and of course my plain satin fabric is what I'm going to use for the collar, as you can see. Then of course this interfacing as well, I'll be using it from some points. As we go along you will understand better. So what I'm going to do now is to lay my fabric on the table. So I'm going to be folding this with the 45 inches. You know the African print comes by 45, right? So I'm folding it along that length. Then the width is the biggest part of the measurement, which is the hip. If I divide it by 4, I have 11. Then just add 3 to 5 inches to it. So that's how I got my fold. And of course the length of 45, like I said earlier on. Okay, yes guys. So what I'm going to do now is to take note of what the vertical lines from the chest line all the way straight down. Now from the top of my fabric there, I'm going to take note of the chest line. I'm going to mark that at 9 inches. Then the waistline, I'm going to mark that at 17. Then the next is going to be the hip line. I'm marking that at 24. And of course the length of the jacket itself. So I'm just converting everything to a straight line, as you can see me doing right now. So the next thing I want to do now is to get my slope using my 3 by 8 inches mark, marking down my 8 with a 1 inches for the slope, coming to the tip to mark 3 inches here, and go ahead and connect it together. And here I have my slope. So the next thing I want to do to put in the shoulder width, which is 15 divided by 2, 7.5. I'll add 0.5 inches to it, making that 8. So I'll go ahead and mark 8 inches all the way to that chest line, okay? So what are we trying to achieve here? Familiar with this, we are trying to get what our armhole curve. So from that slope point now to the chest line, I'm getting the midpoint, which is 8 divided by 2, and that's 4. So I'm going to mark that 4 inches then. Then at that 4 inches, I'll go inwards by 0.5 inches. So this one will enable me create my front armhole. So I'm taking it from that tip of the slope there. You can see how I'm creating my curve. If you have your curve there, please feel free to use it, okay? So from there, from the midpoint as well, I'll also create that of the back armhole, just to, just trace it there and blend it. And here we have our curve there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fix in the circumference of my bust, which is 8 divided by 4, 9.5. Then I'll go ahead and add 2.5 inches for the same allowance. Then at the waistline, I'm marking waist circumference of 36 divided by 4, that's 9. Also adding 2.5 inches there. The hip line, the hip is 44 divided by 4, 11. Also going ahead to add 2.5 inches. So this is going to be penciled, okay? So I will take the same hip measurement to the lowest length there. I'm going to add that 44 divided by 4, 11 plus 2.5. But I'm going to go inwards by another 2 inches. So this is going to help me create my pencil, okay? Yes, guys. So I'll go ahead now and mark that out. So you can see I've already shaped that out and I'm already cut. I'm so sorry, I just quickly misplaced this part, but there's nothing difficult not to understand here, okay? Just trace what we have shaped out. So because this was a collar neckline, it was a neck width of 3 inches and a neck depth of 1.5 for the back, while a neck depth of 3 inches for the front, okay? Yes, guys, so that's what I have here. So I'm going to also go ahead and slit open the front piece. So having in mind that the neckline we have for the front, okay, it was a straight cut. What I mean a straight cut, like there was no neck depth, just the neck width, and you do a straight cut out, which is going to make the collar fix to be straightforward. But for this one, I had to bring in a neck depth of this 3 inches, just like you see me have done here. And trust me, I was trying this out for the first time. I needed to see how this was going to, turn out to be, if she was going to, have a collar. And it came out nice. It came out nice. I mean, you can see from the intro video there, it came out really nice. So I loved it, okay? Yes, guys. So what I'm trying to say is that the neck depth we're using here was not applicable for the one cut out on the thumbnail, okay? Yes, guys. So I'm going to do a similar video. I'm going to do a similar video where I will also introduce that neck. I'll cut something else similar. So I will introduce that, neck particular neckline and its collar itself. Okay, yes guys, so what I'm doing right now is to go ahead and fix my interfacing on the neckline, the front part of the piece here, and also the hip side. Okay, so I'll just go finish that up, then you see the places where I will apply my interfacing. Okay, yes guys, so I'll go ahead and finish that up, so I'll come back and show you how that looks. And so here I've gone ahead to fix the interfacing. So what I did for the cutout was I just cut it as if I'm cutting out a facing. So you can see for the neck region, you can see I applied it for the hip part as well, you know, to help protrude that hip curve more. Okay, for the hip curve to be more visible, just like you see there. Then it was from the waistline, I just measured 14 inches and a width of 9 inches. That was all I did. Then look at the front piece, you can see I also applied the interfacing on the edge, you know, the front piece there and the neckline. So it was just a 2.5 width for that front piece there. Then for the hip side, the same thing as well, from my waistline 14 inches and from the hip there 9 inches. That's just all this. So these were the strategic places I fixed my interfacing. So you can see this right now. Yeah, so what I'm going to do next now is to place the front piece over the back piece. Now I'm going to be joining the shoulder. After joining the shoulder, I'll go ahead and join the sides. Okay, join the shoulder and the sides. That's what I'm going to do. Then I'll also be repeating the same process for the lining as well. Okay, yes guys, I'll go ahead and do the same thing. So by the time I'm done, then the next thing now will be what to fix in the collar itself. Okay, yes guys, so you guys really need to, you know, watch out for how we're going to create this collar. Yes guys, so you can see I've done that. I've sewn the shoulder and the sides. You can see this for both the lining and the main piece itself. So setting the lining aside, let's focus on the main piece now. Now you can see how this is looking after arranging it. Okay, you can see, if you look at it very well, you can see how the hip cuff is already protruding, you know, out here. So what I'm going to do now is to take from that shoulder, I will take the point where I want my collar to stop, say somewhere, you know, around that waistline towards the hip line. So I'm using 19 inches. So you can see me chalking that down from my shoulder to 19 inches. Okay, I'm doing the same thing for the other side. So that's the first process here, chalking down the points where I want my collar to stop. Okay, now taking note of that, the next thing I want to do now is to get the midpoint of my neckline. So I'm going to be folding this to get the midpoint by joining the shoulder joinings together. You can see what I'm doing, making sure that the shoulder joinings are matching up. Okay, hold it firmly there and you can see the stretch out there. So I'll go ahead and get the center. So that's the best way to get the center of the neckline. So you can see this now. Okay, so achieving that, now I'm just going ahead to chalk that down so that it will be quite visible there. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to do now is to what? I'm going to be spreading this open, spreading it open now, because it is time for us now to what? To create out our collar effect here. Okay, so that's why I said the neckline here, if it was the original neckline on the thumbnail there, we won't be going through this process. I would have just cut out a long strip and width and attach it, just like we do when we are cutting out my kimono, which by the way I have a video on that as well, a kimono robe or jacket. Okay, so but this one we are cutting it out as if we want to cut out a cape. Okay, yes guys, so here it is now. What I'm going to do is to place my main piece there. I'm going to place it on this plain fabric, which is satin fabric. It is doubled, as you can see. I will place it in such a way that I will trace out from that point where I marked where my collar will stop. It will go all the way to the midpoint of the neckline. So the idea is to get half of this. Okay, that's why we're stopping at the midpoint, so that when we cut out two of it, all we need to do is to join it. At the end of the day, it's going to go around the neckline. I hope you understand. If you don't worry, as we go ahead, you'll get what I'm saying. So you can see the way I'm just spreading it. So I'm taking note of that point now. You can see the way I'm tracing it, going all the way to that neckline. I'm going to stop at that midpoint. Okay, so the thing is, from here to this point, midpoint now, is the same thing that you're going to get if you have to take it the other way around. So that's why I said you don't have to all you need to do is to cut two of it, join it, and it will go through. Okay, now The next thing now is to get the width. I need a width of 5 inches. It's okay for me. So by the time I was putting my tape runner, I saw that I was still going to have some excesses. Okay, so I love to manage fabrics, so I didn't want to waste the fabric, so I decided to bring my piece back again so that I can move ahead. Okay, so this is just me avoiding not to waste my fabric. So I'm going to repeat the same process again, so you can see me adjusting and trying to move up my fabric. Okay, so what I'll do now is to go ahead and mark out the same thing I have done as well. So you can see I'm stopping at that midpoint. Okay, and that's it. So now I'll go ahead and measure the width of the collar. So this depends on what you want. You can do 4, you can do 4.5 or 5. Okay, yes guys, so this is how I wanted it. So here I marked out 5 inches. Just mark out the 5 inches, just following the shape. When you get to the cuff part, you also go through like that. So at the end of the day, you can see you have the same shape and of course the same width as well. Okay, so you can see me tracing this out. So by the time you trace this out now, you can see the way it's looking already. Now the thing there is that you are not just going to cut exactly what you have here. You also have to add some extra seam allowance at the upper part and at the lowest part. Okay, remember we're going to be joining this piece, okay, to make up for a full length of this. Now on this lowest part, I just want to create a slant effect, and also the seam allowance I'll use to join it, because I'll be turning it up with a line. So I'm marking out 1.5 here, as you can see me doing right now, marking out 1.5. So 0.5 inches is going to be for turning up, while the 1 inches I'm just using it to create a slant effect. Okay, so you can see at that point I'm creating a slant effect and I'm going ahead to match. So if you don't want this slant effect, no problem, just add 0.5 inches and mark a straight line. That's all. You don't need to go through this process. Okay, so this is just me trying to create a slant effect. Then I'll come to the upper part as well. I'll be marking out 0.5 inches. So you need to also pay attention where you like what I'm doing now, creating this slant effect. You need to take note of where you are putting in if it's on the cuff part or the part that is going inwards. I hope you understand that. So all I did now is just to trace out exactly what I have. So like I told you initially, this satin fabric was doubled, okay, as you can see. So the idea now is to create 2 pieces of this, and we'll create extra 2 which will represent the lining. I hope you understand. So you can see me trying to demonstrate how this is going to look. Okay, so just have a view of it now. I'm just trying to place it now. You can see that plate is going to go and it will stop at that midpoint of the neckline. You can see this now. So this was what I was trying to explain. Okay, why the other piece, by the time you join it, will be able to go around again and come down to the other side. Okay, yes, so that's just it. So looking at what we have on the thumbnail, that collar, the collar itself, you could see that there was a slant shape by the side there. So that's what I'm just trying to create now. Okay, so I'm going to go up by 5 inches, having in mind that the width of this collar already is 5. So you can see me coming up by 5 inches. This is just me creating a little bit of slant effect there. If you can decide to leave it straight, please, there's no problem at all. Okay, don't get confused. This is just an extra. So going up by 5 inches, I'm just taking note of that. Then from that 5 inches above, then I will move my tape inwards. You can go inwards by ½ inch, 0.5 inches, or you can go inwards by 1 inches. Okay, depending on what you want. So just slant it that way so that you can have a view. This is just me. If I have gone inwards by 1 inches, it would have been more visible, okay, like what you really have there. Okay, so that's just it, just creating that slant effect there. So I'll go ahead and cut this out so you can see this now. Yeah, so that's it now. So what I'm going to do also is to go ahead and cut out another piece, just like I said. You can see how this is looking already. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and cut out another piece, having in mind that this is double, right, and we're going to be joining it at that top point there. So I'll go ahead and cut out another piece. So like I said, one piece is going to be for the main the collar itself, while the other one will represent the lining. So it's just the exact same shape that we have cut out here. So you can see how it looks. So this is how it is. You're going to be joining it on that top part, so you can see that's why we left that 0.5 inches there. So this is just me trying to demonstrate how this is going to look like. Now you can see me, I'm trying to pin this down so that you can get a better view of what I'm talking about. Okay, so by the time you join it there, you have your shape looking this way. Okay, so you can see this now. Then you're also going to have another piece of it. So trying to demonstrate to you again, you can see, so that part that you're joining is going to be sitting on that midpoint of the neckline. So from there, it will go around and come down to the point you marked where your collar will stop. So you can see how this is looking. So here I have the 4-piece cutout. What I'll do now is to apply my interfacing on it. Okay, I'll go finish that up and I will join it the way I just will demonstrate to you. So what I'll do is, after applying my interfacing, like I said earlier on, join it on the shoulder. One piece will represent the lining and the main piece. So by the time you spread it open, you will now make sure that those 2 points where you have joined is going to be matching up. Very, very important. Okay, then you go ahead and sew along the cuff part the way I'm demonstrating now. Just sew along the cuff part and that side, so the other side will be open. That's the part that you'll be sewing to your piece. Okay, yes guys, so just go finish that up, give it a good press, and you'll see how this look. Okay, yes guys, so here it is guys. Before turning it up, this is it. You can see the shape, making sure that those 2 joinings are matching each other. So I'll go ahead and iron this, and here it is now. It's ready. You can see how this is looking. Yes guys, so the next thing now is to go ahead and fix it on my jacket. Okay, so making sure that those 2 joinings are quite visible there. All you need to do is to align it to that center point. Okay, align it to that center point. So I'm going to be sewing from the right side. Yeah, so I'm going to be sewing from the right side. Just match it up, pin it down like I'll demonstrate now. Take my pin it down from that center point, and you take it from that point to the other way downwards, and you go through the same process the other side. So I'll just go ahead and repeat the same thing. Guys, if you've not liked my video at this point, please guys, hit that like button. If you've not subscribed, please don't forget to do that. I will really appreciate that a lot. Okay, thank you so much guys. So here, after pinning it down, what I'll do now is to go ahead and sew it down. Okay, now after that, now the next thing to do now is to attach my lining. This is the time I'm going to be attaching my lining. So I'll repeat the same process of getting the midpoint of the neckline for my lining. Remember, we've already joined it too. So now that midpoint there, you can see me trying to chuck it down. Now I'm going to using it to turn this inward. So I'm going to attach the right side to the right side as well on that midpoint, the same midpoint there. Just attach it there like so, and you sew. Now what we're doing here, we're just practically sewing the same way we're sewing our collar, is the same way we're sewing our neckline. The only difference is that our lining rather, the only difference is that the lining will be running downwards all the way to the full length of your jacket here. Okay, so once that is done, you can now turn it inside. Okay, and here guys, you can see the view. We have done that already. You can see how beautiful this is looking, and also went ahead to top stitch all the way. This will help the collar to relax properly, okay, because of the way we fixed it. So top stitch. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. You can see the lining is sitting pretty. So I'm going to be using my hemming gum at some points there, just those edges along the collar parts that is is protruding. Just use your hemming gun and make everything slide properly. Okay, yes guys, so that's it guys. And after that, the next thing to do now will be to clean up the lowest part. I'll go ahead and weave it, then I'll fold it inwards and sew. You can also use your hemming gum if you want to. Okay guys, believe it or not, at this point this jacket is ready. That's it guys. So the next thing to do now will be to attach the sleeve. Okay, it's a very stylish sleeve. I'm going to be showing you that in my next tutorial guys. Yes guys, I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, yes guys, so that's it guys on how to make this very beautiful stylish jacket. Thank you so much guys for joining me today. I hope you find this helpful, and if you do, please do not forget to like, share, and with friends. And also, if you've not subscribed to my channel, don't forget to do that as well. Thank you so much guys. Till I see you on the next one, have a wonderful day. Bye.